Hey everybody, this message is about the current boiling point of racial tension and racial injustice that we're seeing play out in the United States right now in this moment. And if you're someone who looks like me as a white male, you're probably asking the questions I'm asking myself, like, should I say something? Should I do something? I don't have any credibility around this as a white male. At least that's what I told myself when Trayvon Martin was killed. And then, just a little while later, Michael Brown and Eric Garner are also killed by people in positions of power. And I said, oh my goodness, this is horrible. This is obviously now a systemic problem that requires like real solutions. But I don't work in the criminal justice system. I don't write legislation. I couldn't have any impact. And it would be unprofessional for me to bring that up. Wouldn't it be? It's not. And now George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery have also been killed by people in positions of power. And I've come to the conviction that as of this moment, yes, I need to say something. It is my moral and professional obligation to say something to people like me who believe in building modern organizations, building cultures of empowerment and inclusion, and cultures of psychological safety. How much psychological safety would you feel if you saw people who look like you murdered on the evening news on a not so rare basis? And so it's come clear to me that we are at an inflection point in this conversation where we no longer have a free pass as middle managers, team leads, departmental directors, vice presidents, CXOs, scrum masters, coaches, whatever your title, whatever your role. Do you have influence in your organization? If you do, guess what? You are a leader in an institution that is part of an institutional system that is in the middle of institutional and systemic racism. And so I'm making this video because there are 5 things that I want to share that I wish I had told to me years ago so that I could have taken more action, more professional responsibility as someone who's in the business of leadership. I run my own company and I advise other people on how they run their companies and their departments and organizations. And so, yes, there are things we can do to build more racial justice at the office. Here are 5 things. Number 1, go on record. If you are one of those people of power and you haven't yet gone on record with an announcement, a newsletter to say this sucks, we don't stand for this, we're not gonna stand by and do nothing anymore, it's time for you to say something. Silence is the greatest ally of evil. And it's time for you to be that person that goes on record. Hey, if you're a brown or a black employee who works at a company where you have not yet heard your leadership, your departmental or organizational senior leaders go on record with exactly just that, then this is your moment to create some accountability. And send an email to that CEO saying, hey, remember me? I work for you. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say on this topic and how we're going to move forward. So, go on record. Number 2, personal outreach. Those black and brown people, coworkers who work with you in your company are not having a good time right now and could really use a little bit of a human connection. So reach out to that brown and black coworker and say, hey, how you doing? You okay? And then when you create that connection, just be quiet and listen, because you're going to get a lot of humanity coming. No, I'm not okay. This is happening too often, in too many places, and there are no real solutions. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And now you've just gone on record on a personal level, not just at an institutional level. And now your colleagues are viewing you as an ally. Number 3, get feedback. This is not the first version of this video. I created an initial version and I got some feedback that said, no, Jesse, you can't say that. You got to do it again. So when you create those connections with people, take advantage of them. And after an awkward meeting, come up to that person of color and say, hey, I'm wondering, did we overstep there? Was that okay, not okay, inappropriate? I want to make sure that I do this right. And then when you say that, be ready, because it'll come. If you're a brown or a black person working at a company and you see somebody do it well or do it right, here's what I could use. I could use some positive reinforcement to say, okay, thank you for saying something when nobody else would. Thank you for correcting yourself and apologizing afterwards. That's what we need. And so that's a way where you can offer feedback in a positive fashion. Number 4, hey, white guy, think before you speak. This is the solution to the problem of microaggressions, which is a fancy term for awkward moments. I'll give you an example. I was at a company karaoke party after a workshop, and we're just kind of hanging out, and here comes good food, good music, and now Sir Mix-a-Lot's on the radio, Baby Got Back. Oh man, that's a throwback track from back in the day. And so what's everybody do? We all turn and look at one black man in the office and say, hey, my man, come on over here and come on, do the karaoke with us. I mean, you know this one, come on. And he's like, dude, I don't know that song. I don't even like that song. I'm cool. I don't need to karaoke. I'm cool. And he's, oh my gosh, that was super awkward. I just did that thing. I did that thing where, because I assumed he looked like him, he would be into that kind of music. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. No cute faces. No cute, my man. None of that. Just be normal. Connect with people as people. And number 5, review your institution. It might be time to take a look internally. Does your institution reflect institutional racism of any kind? So one example might be to run the data. So we ran the data this week on our company and found that in the last year, of everyone that worked for us as staff, consultants, coaches, contractors, and vendors, I'm pleased to say all of them were 60% women. That's good. That's a good number. Unfortunately, over 80% were white. That's not a good number. And so at least now I know. And now I can begin to start having hard conversations about, well, what are we doing that kind of reinforces the pattern, the negative pattern? Where do we begin? So those are 5 things, guys, that I wish I had told to me a while ago, that this is all relevant to my professional responsibility as an organizational leader to create psychological safety and a culture of empowerment and inclusion. And I would love to know that I'm not alone. So leave a comment, a DM, an email for me to say, yes, Jesse, I too am going to be doing something in my role as an organizational leader to create a safe space for people that may not look like me. And that might be a way for us to move forward. I'm Jesse. Thanks for listening.